Do the game thing anyway. Adam West, borrowing from Ralph Garman. No, I suck. I'm not Ralph Garman. Exactly, that's the problem. He's the host on Hollywood Babylon with Kevin Smith and all that shit. Still the army of snarkness up in here. We're doing a thing with our nerdy D20 gaming, which is promised in one part of a thing, but it'll be labeled. So yes, it's game night, but we're not playing no poker, and we fucking suck at. I suck at cards. I mean, Tommy over here is pretty decent at.
I'm okay at cards.
Decent at the sport of man.
I'm okay at cards as long as there's no money involved.
But there's my wife at Swan's Princess. I am Billy at the _Swan_man on Twitter. Like the Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter at Army of Snarkness. Shoot us an email. armyofsnarkness@gmail. Bitch. Like I said, there's a Tommy. You can follow it on nothing.
Motherfucker!
There's David Johnson. We're in the Johnson place. Johnson
Yes,
Cave.
I am back, kids.
All he does is buy Big Johnson shirts from like the 90s. It's fucking weird.
Oh, God.
Which is even
Hey,
Like
baby.
I'm back in high school.
Which is even funnier because he's not that tall a guy. He's a relatively
Well, I think the shirt
short
implies that
individual.
it's all about endowment.
Indeed.
What?
Endowment.
Endowment of what?
The arts.
Oh.
NEA.
Wait. That's not. Wait.
Wait, no, that's
Wait,
education.
What happened?
It's penis
No,
joke.
no.
Oh.
Big
Penis
Johnson.
joke?
Yeah, no. I just came
Okay.
to know this.
Son of a bitch! Those shirts make so much more sense now. God, I
Yeah, Big
spent my
Johnson
whole-
racing. Fucking
You know,
Big
now
Johnson
that I look
fishing
back-
or hunting or whatever the fuck.
Now that I look back, those make so. I never, I was like, who the fuck is this Johnson guy? Why do I care how tall he is?
He's a
The
fucking
guy on
dork.
the t-shirt
Yeah.
doesn't seem that tall. Well, color my face red with embarrassment.
Dave, you any good at cards?
Not particularly.
Any good at any manly thing? I'm not. Not the sport of man.
Can you golf, Dave?
When we say game night,
I
the
don't
implication.
golf, no, I can put a bullet anywhere on a target if you want me to.
Okay, it's your fucking house. Go nuts. And by house, I mean apartment, so kill your neighbors. That's fine.
No, it'd be fine.
I'm sure the bullet will stop in the wood.
Yeah.
Or the drywall. Pinch! There were babies!
No, I gotta recommend not doing that because I think it's gonna blow out our our listeners' ears and mine. But I'm just thinking of you, gentle listener. It's for you. My heart bleeds and my cock weeps. My cock weeps for you.
It's a slow drip.
Why do we have dripping people?
Playoff.
Why
Playoffs
not?
are going on. Sure, that's actually on, but it's not much of a game. The Vikings pack skeeting on them. But what do we do for game night, boys? We do this thing. This RPGing thing. Now, it's not MMORPG. That's on the computer.
God, you had to stop and count those out.
I did.
Jesus.
I don't play them. All I hear is people go, MMORPG. You should learn to play one, dick fuck. I'm like, I don't wanna.
Exactly.
I
Yeah,
have.
there was a time when those
I like Star Trek Online, but even then, there's too many people that play it for a living that fuck me up.
That's not even the problem. I was having this discussion earlier tonight with somebody.
Oh
The
shit,
problem
synergy.
is- No, the problem is, it's like, my only experience with this was Star Wars Galaxies, which I have gone on about at length over the years that you
Yes.
have known me, so I apologize. But
No, it's all
our
good.
listeners have not heard me
It's
rant.
new to them.
For the listener at home, I beta tested. I was one of the beta testers, which gave
Shit.
me
One
immense
of mine was, yeah.
schadenfreude because I don't play video games. So I'm on the forums.
Right.
At a boring 40-hour-a-week job. So I had nothing better to do than dick around on the forums for Star Wars Galaxies before it came out. So I got to be picked as one of the beta testers, which is great because I'm surrounded by nerds who love, video games. They love MMOs. They practically, bleed EverQuest. And
Oof.
I got into beta and they didn't,
Wow,
which
there's one.
just made me happy. Yes, Dave, it was a while ago. I'm old, I'm sorry. But anyway, at the start, Galaxies was a fun-ass game because the whole concept behind it, the whole design concept, was the sandbox. We give you shit that you can manipulate.
In
like
Star
a
Wars.
really simpler, basic, dollhousey version of Minecraft. Where you can, like Minecraft, the whole thing about Minecraft is you can manipulate the world to be what you want. I mean, it's not the original intent, but that's what you can do with it. I saw a motherfucker make a working calculator out of Minecraft pieces. Yeah, figure that shit
I gave
out.
a face, so
Yeah,
the face
pretty
was
awesome.
given.
Awesome.
But anyway, Galaxies was kind of like that in the beginning. They gave you things like not just a house, but a house you could customize and decorate, which seems stupid and small, but bear with me. Because they also gave you things like they gave you the ability to name the items you could place in the world. They gave you the ability to not just make stuff, but name the things you made. And they gave you this one, like they gave you a profession, the salesman profession, whatever the hell it was.
Right.
Where
Merchant.
merchant, thank you, because I was a merchant. But the thing is, they gave you NPCs you could place to buy and sell things for you. So they gave you this NPC. It was pretty much like an ATM. You would deposit you give it money, it would give you goods. So using these sort of basic building blocks, we made, like my buddy up in Toronto, Nix, Angelo. Hi, buddy. If you're listening.
Yay! Love
He
Canada.
started. He got together with this other guy who made a city because you could not just run a town; you could build it from scratch and make it the way you wanted to make it.
Tropico.
So they got together and they decided to throw this big, essentially land party called Groove Fest, and
Awesome.
yeah, and Nix made this he did like a short story that he published on the forum about Groove Fest, right? And the second time he did it, him and the guy got together, the guy who made it, Keltrian, got together, and they came up with this thing where where Nix would make a scavenger hunt essentially, and you would participate as a player in the scavenger hunt, and whatever the result of that, whoever won that round of the scavenger hunt would change the story as it would play out on the forum. So you were involved in the story, so you got to be part of the continuity of the galaxy, so to speak. And it became this really cool thing. I helped him make some stuff. And that was the thing. You could make things. I had a whole sideline going as a bookie. Now, that's not anything that... Galaxies didn't make a bookie profession. But
No, you made it.
But using vendors and using the fact that people were racing their speeder bikes, I made book. You would bet on who would win the speeder bike race or whatever, and you would buy a token. And if you presented, you could sell back the token at whatever odds your guy won at. So if Billy won and you buy Billy's token for 100 credits, and if Billy had 5-1 odds, then you sell it back to me for 500 credits. And obviously I make more than I sell. I make more than I live. That's the kind of shit you can do at Galaxy. But the problem is Galaxy stopped making that content. They started being just a standard MMO, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with World of Warcraft or EverQuest. It's just not my cup of tea. Because then it becomes all about the numbers, the grinding, doing the dungeons.
Right, yeah.
And
Collecting
Galaxies,
XP to get...
and because Galaxies was not focusing on that, they were way behind the curve. So their dungeons all sucked. They were boring. They were the same fucking dungeon. It was like
got a new skin.
Exactly.
It's the snow.
It was an animatronic robot, but we reskinned it to look like, I don't know, Super Death Trooper instead of a drawl or whatever. And so the numbers were higher. But that was the thing. It was just the numbers were higher. There weren't any new tactics. There weren't any new strategies. You couldn't interact with the dungeon itself to be like, okay, if I come from up here and you guys come in the back door, we can pincer them or whatever. There was nothing to it.
Damn, baby, you got pincered.
The whole strategy of it was the same strategy for everything, which is get together the right combination of guys with the right combination of weapons and the right combination of...
Basically, you turn your party into a magic card.
Yeah. And then you walk through the dungeon to see if your collection of numbers was adequate to defeat the dungeon's collection of numbers. And that's okay, I guess, but it was just sort of dull to me because I was used to...
Right, wheeling and dealing.
Yeah, making all my... I made a lot of money selling lightsaber crystals.
Woo.
And I'd do it in character. I'd be like, artifacts, rare artifacts. Do you have you have lightsaber crystals? I don't know what you're talking about, sir. Shut the fuck up, bro. You trying to get me pinched by the man? But I made millions that way. I would be selling to one. I would buy one. I'd be negotiating I would be negotiating buying one from Billy and negotiating selling it to Dave before I'd even bought it. So Dave would be like, "I'll pay you $500,000 for it," and so I'd tell Billy, "I will buy it for no more than $100,000." So depending on what Dave says, that would change my counter offer to Billy.
Terrible.
Yeah, I made a shitload of credits that way. A lot of people did.
Well, fucking it.
But it was
Crime is very.
But it was the only way to be a
profitable.
smuggler. You couldn't actually smuggle anything. The only way to be a smuggler was to find whatever actually was contraband and sell that.
But that is not what we're doing today.
I'm sorry, I got off on a bit of a...
Well, now they know. That was Star Wars Galaxies and such. So,
Which
we're
is
not on
pretty
the computer. That's not the kind of RPG we mean. We're not LARPing. We're not playing Vampire the Masquerade yet.
No one's hitting each other with Nerf weapons
That'd be sweet.
for the purpose of the game.
Yeah.
Now, I will probably hit Dave with a Nerf weapon at some point. But that's
He
just
has an
my
arsenal.
own
It's got to be
reason.
played with. That's fucking sweet right
Yeah,
there.
Dave's an idiot for
Eyeballs.
leaving these Nerf guns around and not expecting me to shoot him with them at some point.
So we're not doing
Good to
that.
happen.
We're not making out because we're vampires. This is D20 RPGing. for
We're
Bessie.
not making out because we're vampires.
You're not making out because you're.
No, we're making out for completely different reasons.
Yeah, no. That's not a part of the game.
That game, spin the bottle, and that happens after I finish the bottles.
So then, Star Wars RPGing. D20. What the hell does it all mean, kids? A D20 is a dice, 20-sided. Yes, that's all I got.
Dice come in 20 sides. They come in 20 sides, 12 sides, 10 sides, 8 sides, 6 sides, and 4 sides normally. But they have
the
many
occasional
other
rare
sides
other,
that
yeah.
nobody really wants to use.
The 5 side, the 100 side.
Oh yeah, the odd-sided ones. I don't get those. That's just fucking not. That's just doing it.
Sides are
That's just
weird
doing it
looking
for the sake of the thing. That's just showing off right there.
Right. This is
I
what
have
we
a
mean by...
nine-sided die.
This is
You're
what
an
we
asshole.
mean by an RPG. When we're talking about RPGing or D20, this is what we mean. It's a game based off the die. D20 meaning a D20 based, a 20-sided dice based game using
Which
dice.
means that the 20-sided die gets used most often.
Yeah. It's your
As
hero.
opposed to the old Star Wars game, the West End Games version, which
was
was D6. It was a D6 base, which means that's the die you know and love. The let's shoot craps down in the parking lot
Yeah.
dice.
Cube.
However, that game required a lot of 6-sided dice.
But it's not just Star Wars. Anything could be...
It's like Boggle exploded all over the place.
Anything can be a dice-based role-playing game. All you gotta do is, what you do with any dice-based role-playing game, create a
the goddamn
character.
dice.
Well, you gotta create the character by the rules of the game, and that's basically, like I said, Magic card. You're adding stats and abilities that you choose and you find and you level up to after a certain point to apply to a sheet that gets assigned a dice power, right?
Essentially, you are assigning values, mostly pluses, sometimes minuses, but mostly pluses, to things you want to
Ooh, yeah, I'm
be
keeping
good at.
that. Yeah.
So that when you try to accomplish something that affects the story, unlike that kid who you played guns with, when you say, I shot you, and he said, no, you didn't, you missed.
There's mathematical fucking proof that
Yeah.
you did not.
Exactly. There's
It's like-
mathematics that says you're a fucking prick and I shot you. Shut your dirty face.
Or the GM. Game Master, who runs the show, which I'm doing tonight. So I can fudge the die. I can fudge the
Yeah.
facts a touch to make the story go along. But I'm operating off the same assumption that these are the rules, and I am fulfilling those rules with NPCs, non-player characters, made-up bullshit that I come up so that they can kill those people or deal with those people.
Yeah,
Or
this
who
ain't
knows?
Nom, Smokey. There are rules. Mm-hmm. And we will abide by them unless, it's not fun for the story.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's got to keep
That's
moving.
rule 0. There's some fun terminology for you. Rule 0. If it's not fun for if everybody thinks it's not fun, you don't fucking play. You throw that rule out. Shut
Unless
up.
you're watching the Flip Jack. I was going to say, you can shut off the TV unless we're watching.
basic commercial.
Yeah, I'm watching this bitch try and make
She's
pancakes.
blowing that pancake!
Because
Huh?
flipping a pancake is so difficult, it requires a spatula.
Carpal tunnel.
So,
Oh no, her eggs are ruined.
no, if you have carpal tunnel, you can't flip that thing anyway because it's too heavy.
So, yeah. The GM creates the scenario and throws baddies, both based from the book and made up by the GM, etc., at you guys, the player characters, the PCs, and you use your fun little stat sheet that you made by the rules, and you roll your dice that are assigned to said rules, and we act out fun little bullshit. I don't know. What would you say about that? I put you in a scenario, and you guys basically improv, because we're very fantastic.
It's a little bit improv acting. It's a little
think
bit
that's most-
board game. It's a little bit cooperative storytelling. And it's a whole lot of bullshitting with your friends while you drink.
See? Game night. That's the game night. And we're doing Star Wars with our old classic characters. That works. Dave put Clone Wars, the cartoon, and this was on this channel.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Good
It gives
play.
me something to get mad at before work every Saturday.
Well, in this
know.
case, that's just good background visuals for me.
But just so you know, kids, we've been playing these characters for a long time. So if you start
Since
playing...
we
Yeah.
lived over here.
We got some level 20s here.
So
Epic
if
level
you
characters
start
makes it hard on
playing
me.
and you can't do the shit we're doing, that's because we've been...
Do not despair.
We've been this sad for a very long time.
And this is a throwback episode. We've made different characters and stuff, but nothing beats a classic, and we're the expendables of the Star Wars universe at this point. Our characters have been through it.
That is the fucking truth.
Been through it. I've put them through couple of demigods and